What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Saints Full Press Coverage podcast, part of the FullPressCoverage.com network. I got two really freaking awesome guests here with me today. It's about time I got them on the show. They've been wanting to come on forever. I've been wanting them on for a long time, and it's finally happened. Two really, really good friends of mine. Actually, probably the two best friends I made off of Twitter, outside of, of course, Alec, who I host the show here with. But got Mead. You can follow him on Twitter at Matthias_Mead. And I also got Hayden here. And you guys might know Hayden a little bit better for his Twitter handle, which is at NO Saints WRLD, New Orleans Saints World. Awesome Twitter account. These guys are both fantastic on Twitter. Always part of the mock drafts that we do. Have a lot of fun, very knowledgeable guys. So first off, thank you guys for coming on to the show. Draft is only 4 days away as we speak right now. It is this Thursday is round one. First off, again, thanks for coming on. Are you guys more excited or nervous for Thursday just because of the, unknown Saints territory we're in currently? How are you guys feeling about the draft coming up?
A little anxious, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially with holes that we have, especially at corner, linebacker, kind of edge. And then seeing that we didn't get really any corners in free agency, so it's definitely could be a big draft starting Thursday depending on how next season goes.
For sure, a lot of areas we could go, and yeah, again, there's still a lot of holes due to the salary cap kind of handcuffs the Saints were put in. Even though they kind of worked their way around it to get onto the plus side, still we weren't able to make a lot of moves. How you feeling about it, Mead? Are you anxious as well? Because I'm pretty anxious too.
Yeah, I'd say just about with every draft season, I get very excited for the draft. But this one particularly different for Saints fans because it's almost like the Saints are still a really good team. We're obviously drafting at 28. We've had a good season. We've got a good foundation. But as opposed to drafting to kind of, extend that Drew Brees-shaped championship window, we're actually kind of drafting with the mindset that we haven't for the last several years, so it'll definitely be a new experience.
Yeah, no doubt about it, yeah. And, drafting at 28 is always tough. Anything past 25, it's really like, all right, you're kind of, not to be kind of rude about these players because they're all talented, but after 25, you're kind of left with the first-round scrap, so to speak, right? Because a lot of teams really have, from what I've heard at least, 20 to 25 true first-round graded guys, and it depends on how tough their grading system is, depends on exactly what they're after. But, if you're sitting there at that 28th spot, it's tough. Do you go BPA, no matter of the position? Do you go with the best need? Do you consider moving up, moving down? Saints are in a very tough position, and they've been in this position quite a few times recently due to their success. Of course, a couple years ago had the 27th overall pick. Ended up trading up for Marcus Davenport, giving up the 2019 first-round draft pick. And I'm bringing that up for a couple of reasons. Number one, today's episode we will be doing a PFN mock draft simulator. 7 rounds for the Saints, but we are heavily thinking about trading up. We'll go into that more as we get into the draft. But the other reason I bring it up is because not only did the Saints give up way too much to move up compared to what other teams have been giving up to move up in the first round, I don't know if you guys know this off the top of your head because I had to look this up the other day. Do you guys know who that first-round draft pick turned into for the Packers?
Jair Alexander.
It's Jair Alexander.
Yeah,
so, yeah, Jair Alexander is who the Packers got with that first-round pick. So now I'm just sitting here thinking, imagine if we had Jair and Lattimore on the same squad, if we hadn't traded up.
That wouldn't even be fair.
It wouldn't be fair. It would be, be really fair for us. Who knows where we'd be by now? But for the rest of the league, you're absolutely right. It would not be fair. It's the best cornerback tandem.
Kept T-Rex at edge, and then had Jair and Lattimore at corner.
Yep.
That's gorgeous.
So, kind of bums me out. But again, if you look at the other trade-ups in the first round, even if it was trading up from, later 20s to the mid-teens, you even look at a team a couple years ago when the Broncos traded, it was the Steelers that traded from 20 to 10, getting the Broncos pick. They didn't even give up as much draft capital as the Saints did to move up from 27 to 14, and they got a top 10 pick to get Devin Bush. So, unfortunately, that still kind of almost haunts us in a way. And if Marcus Davenport had turned out a little bit better, I'm sure we wouldn't be really talking about this. But I'm bringing it up because I feel like the Saints are primed again to maybe trade up for somebody because of the big hole at cornerback. So in this draft, I want to see if it's smart for us to trade up. So we're gonna go into PFN Mock Draft Simulator. I'm putting it on 7 rounds for only the Saints, and it's also draft speed at slow. So I'm gonna I was talking about this before we started recording. I think I'm gonna let the first 12 picks kind of simulate. I'm gonna pause the draft and see who's available there at 13 because I feel like the Chargers. I've seen Horn mocked them quite a few times. They're in need at a few different positions: offensive line, cornerback. Of course, they got Kenneth Murray. I think didn't they trade up for Kenneth Murray last year? Either way, they got him like right before the Saints were up on the clock.
Yeah, they traded up.
Yeah, and
picked before or 2 picks before. I think it was 2 picks before.
I think so too, and it was that was a guy that I know all three of us really liked and would have loved to have, but the Chargers got him. So it would be interesting if the Saints were to trade up into that spot. I think also the Vikings I believe they're 14, and then the Cardinals at 16 are also prime trade candidates because all those teams need multiple positions. Not really one true glaring hole, I'd say, like kind of the Saints have at cornerback and linebacker. So they could definitely want to move back, maybe pick up more draft capital. They might be in a tough position there in the mid-teens. So if you guys are ready, let's just jump into this. I'm going to start the simulation. Like I said, I'll let the first 12 picks kind of go, let you guys know who's going. So, of course, Trevor Lawrence goes number 1 overall. Zach Wilson, number 2 to the Jets. Trey Lance goes 3 to the Niners, which I think is a lot smarter than Mac Jones. And then Justin Fields goes 4 to the Falcons. I mean, I feel like Fields is a better player than Lance, so sometimes these mock drafts are just very all over the place. But either way, I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3 quarterbacks off the board. And if Fields is still there, I think the Falcons will go him over Kyle Pitts. Sewell goes 5th to the Bengals. Jamar Chase then goes 6th to the Dolphins. Wow, Mac Jones, 7th overall to the Detroit Lions. That's interesting. Dan Campbell, man, the knee biter, he got his quarterback of the future, it looks like, 7. I've never actually seen that before in all the mocks I've done. Slater, 8th. Patrick Surtain goes 9th to the Broncos. Kyle Pitts, 10th to the Cowboys. Devontae Smith goes 11th to the Giants, which I think will happen in real life. And 12th, Jalen Waddle. So, Patrick Surtain is the only cornerback off the board right now. So that leaves J.C. Horn here. I think it's Christian Darrisaw is also here, which the Chargers could definitely go for. J.O.K. is here, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Micah Parsons, of course. So, in your guys' opinion, here at 13, is it worth trading up into that spot for Horn, or is it worth risking? Yeah, it goes Chargers, Vikings, Patriots, Cardinals are the next 4 picks.
See, here's the thing. If Chargers don't go corner,
yeah,
I don't see Vikings going corner.
I don't either.
And then definitely don't see Patriots going corner. So
right. Yeah, I think Patriots at this point either go Parsons or JOK for line. They need linebacker help.
Who's the offensive lineman still left?
Darrisaw is still available. Let me see. Darrisaw, Cosme, Jenkins, Elijah Vera Tucker still available. So there's some good, obviously all the top offensive guys outside of Sewell and Slater are still available. So yeah, this is a really tough position.
If I'm the Chargers, I just get help for Herbert.
Yeah. Right. Right. So
I would say the move up to 13 would be hefty.
Yeah, it would definitely.
So I'd almost put 16 as the earliest I would trade up.
Okay. I like that, and I agree. How are you feeling about it, Mead? You feel the same? Because, 16 is a pretty prime spot with the Cardinals right there. And if the Cardinals would be really smart to trade back, I think.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. You look at the teams that could potentially go cornerback. They've also kind of all need offensive line. So you talk about the Chargers who need a cornerback, but they probably need offensive line more. The Cardinals would probably be the next team that would need cornerback, but they also need offensive line as well.
Right.
So with the offensive lineman on the board, I think Chargers management would probably be smart, and I think what they would actually do would probably invest in someone like Darisaw for Justin Herbert, even though their fan base may prefer J.C. Horn.
Right.
So I think what Hayden's talking about, letting the next 2 or 3 picks go, then kind of looking at trading up makes sense from a Saints perspective.
I think that's a good move too. And of course, the Chargers signed big names for the offensive line this offseason too, so they clearly have that need in mind for Herbert going forward, which is smart. That's what every team should do with a young quarterback. So I'm gonna let it play out. Then I'm gonna let it simulate until 16. Then, and we'll just see how it goes. And if Horn goes 13 overall, I riot. So let's see what happens. Picking. Oh man, J.C. Horn 13th overall to the Chargers. Wow. Hey, that's okay because Greg Newsome is still a possibility. So
yeah, and he's still my quarterback too.
And he's exactly, yeah. Hayden, like, I like him a lot too. I mean, the more tape I watch, the more I'm like, yes, this guy needs to be our starting cornerback. But he's 20th on the PFN big board, so this is interesting. And also, I talked about this in our last mock draft simulator. Mock drafts, depending on the simulator you use, will lead to different guys being on the board, which I do like a lot because, different scouts on different NFL teams also rank guys differently, so you never really know who's going to go where. But it's interesting to see these different sites and how they have their guys ranked, because Newsome is like a top 18, 17 guy for like TDN. I don't know where he is for PFF, but a lot of these guys are kind of all over the place. So J.C. Horn goes 13th overall. 14th, I bet you Darisaw is going to go to he goes to the Vikings. 15 is probably Parsons. 15 goes Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah to the Patriots. So now, pause the draft, 16th overall, Cardinals. Is it worth trading up for Greg Newsome right here? Because I feel like the Cardinals will go with Newsome here.
Yeah.
Because,
this is definitely where I would say we start on the Cardinals. Then after that, I could see. Raiders won't go corner. I don't think.
The Raiders will probably go
taking
Parsons.
Parsons.
Yeah, I think they'll go Parsons. Yes.
Yeah. And then Dolphins have been talking about trading back at either pick, so they another candidate to jump in front of. Washington, Chicago, Indy, Tennessee are all on a possibility. So
for sure. So I think it might be worth at least proposing a trade here to the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, for sure I would.
Just because I have a really good feeling that they are gonna want to go with Newsome here. So 16, and that's the thing. So definitely, obviously, I'll put 28 on the board. And Hayden, I've seen you trade up to it's like 20th or something, or 21st, and you didn't have to give up 28.
21st.
Is that what it was? I've seen you trade up, and you didn't have to give up 28.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I did. I think I did the second round. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's probably 60 and like a 2022 second or third or something, and then 105 or something, I assume. But
oh yeah, here we go. So I did 60, 133 in next year's first.
Ooh, that's dicey.
But I was really just doing it to mess around on TDN.
For sure.
But yeah, I traded up to 20, got Newsome, and then got JOK at 28. That's pretty glorious.
That's pretty good, actually.
But, yeah.
So, and I just want to avoid trading the 2022 first, just at all costs. But that is a good trade. The fact that then you get 2 first-round picks this year, that kind of makes up for losing the first round last year. So, I like that overall.
Cool. Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? Because I'm thinking I would love to do like 28, 133.
I would say start out at 28 and 133 and just see if they budge.
Okay. Let's see what the AI. Okay, so picks 28 and 133 for 16. Let's see if they take that straight up. Your trade was declined. That's okay. Let's do.
It lets you add next year picks too. Right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna add next year's second.
I would say third.
Or third.
I would go third.
Third. Okay.
Let's
go
get
third.
A comp for Fontenot going to Atlanta.
Okay, I like that. Let's go third. Yeah, because we got 2 thirds next year, and I'll trade the first third essentially. 28, 133, next year's third for 16. I feel like they take this, right? No, they don't.
Yeah.
Of course they don't. This is tough. I mean, it's 12 spots. It's nothing too crazy.
We go. You could almost go 28, 105.
Yeah.
Because since we do have 2/3 this year.
Yeah, I like that. 28, 105.
Or even 98.
Yeah, I feel like
98.
I feel like 98 will get it done for sure, and next year's third. I feel like that'll get it done.
Yeah.
You guys cool with that? Should I propose that?
Yeah, no,
All
I
right.
think that works.
I like that,
it.
and then go.
Especially for a player like Newsom.
I feel
Yeah.
like so too, especially with how Horn going that early, which I feel like can definitely happen in real life. But if he goes that early and Surtain's already gone, it really only leaves Newsom as because Farley is a talented player, but the back injury, that's just a big concern.
Right.
So it's tough
Yeah.
because Farley, I've seen him fall to the Saints plenty of times at 28. Of course, I think the Jets could be prime candidates to take a chance on him at 23. But we need a guy who we know for sure can play right now, and I don't mind trading our first 98 and then next year's third to move up 12 spots to get somebody like Newsom who's really talented. So I'm going to propose this trade. I think it's a good idea by you guys. Hopefully the Cardinals will take it. No, they declined it. So should we try again? Should we try something else? Should we do next year's second instead of the third? Or what?
I would say next year second for the most I would do.
Okay. Yeah, and if they decline this, then, holy cow, that's their loss. So I'm going to do 28, 98 next year's second for 16. That's the most I'm willing to give up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't want to give up any more. And we'll see how the board falls. We might get lucky and they might not even go Newsom, but my gut tells me they're going Newsom here because they need that cornerback help.
Unless they really like Veritaka.
Right.
That'd be the only option, I think.
Which, yeah, that gives you kind of where's Cliff Kingsbury's mind. He is an offensive-minded guy.
Yeah.
I know this is a simulation, but IRL, he could definitely go offense.
Tyler needs the help.
Tyler needs the help for sure. But also, their only cornerbacks on Byron Murphy's an inside slot guy. Their only outside corners are Malcolm Butler and I can't even name. I don't even know who the other there because they lost Pat Pete.
Yeah,
and
they lost Patrick Pete,
and they don't really have anybody else outside of him anyway. But they just signed Malcolm Butler, who is not really who he was a few years ago. So I think I have a gut feeling they're going cornerback here. So I feel like if they don't accept this, then whatever. I can't give up anymore because then what we would pretty much have to do 28, 60. And next year's like third or something, and I just feel like that's too much. I don't want to give up a first, a second, and a third next year or whatever for moving up 12 spots. So I'm going to propose this. It's going to be pick 28, pick 98, and next year's second for pick number 16. Cardinals are really trying to swaddle us here. And if they don't accept it, that just means they really, really like whoever they're going with, which I'm guessing is Newsom. So I'm going to send it in right now. It was declined. All right. Cardinals just don't want to move back. Okay, whatever. So it looks like they're probably going to take Newsom. Let's see how it goes. Oh, they want Micah Parsons.
Wow.
Oh, man. Wow.
That's interesting.
They did lose Hassan Reddick. So.
Holy cow. That's a good point, too. I don't know. And I almost feel like Parsons' ceiling is better than Riddick's for sure. So I think that's a pretty good move. But they also got Isaiah Simmons last year in the first round, so kind of interesting. But Simmons is more of a hybrid linebacker. Parsons, he's more of a blue collar type guy. So I kind of like that combination they got there. So that's interesting. So okay, at least they didn't take Newsom. Let's see what the Raiders do at 17 because I feel like Parsons was their guy. They go Kwity Paye. I think Kwity Paye is a great fit there for the Raiders.
Yeah, he seems like a Raider.
For sure, yeah. I feel like, and he's been mocked there plenty of times. So now it's the Dolphins at 18. We were just talking about them. I doubt they go cornerback because they got they got Byron Jones and of course Xavier Howard, two really really solid guys in that secondary. Should we just take the because this is tough. There's a lot of good guys left on the board.
I'd probably take the risk.
And see what and I feel like with Washington, they could go a bunch of different routes, and I feel like they're kind of prime trade back guy because there's no cornerback left or a quarterback left for them. So So let's see. Let's see what the Dolphins do at 18. They go Travis Etienne.
Interesting.
Considering Najee Harris is still
I
there.
could see that, yeah.
I could see that too. But if I'm taking a running back in the first round, I almost want to go Harris over Etienne. But it depends on the offense you're running. But Najee Harris just kind of has that NFL back kind of
he does,
readiness to him. So now it's Washington at 19. So this is only moving up 9 spots. Do you guys think it's worth trading? Should we? Because I feel like at 20 for the Bears, they may go Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, Bears. Yeah.
Or even Elijah Vera Tucker. He's still left. That's really interesting.
And I can even see Washington going someone like Kevin Joseph.
Yep, I could see them going there, or even I guess they don't really need D-line help because Ojulari and Barmore are still available. But
honestly, one of my fits is Bateman to Washington. I could definitely see that fitting him next to Scary Terry.
I like that. Okay, so let's just play it out. So should I pause it when we get to
Indianapolis?
Yeah. I got a gut feeling Chicago may go corner, but
has been my favorite.
Okay.
Straight up offense.
Let's wait for let's go 19 and 20. Let's see what happens there. Oh, Bills traded up to 19. And so they traded pick 30, 61, and next year's third for pick 19, and they ended up taking Azeez Ojulari.
Okay,
that's a pretty decent move, and that's a pretty good trade for them too. So Ojulari's off the board. So Washington was primed to trade back, which I think is a good move overall for them because they still go to first. They pick up more draft capital. I think it's a smart move on their part. So now Chicago at 20. Let's see what they do. I think they're going to go Bateman here. Yep, they go Rashad Bateman. Okay, so Colts are on the clock at 21. Newsome's still available. Yep. The guys in front of him on PFN's big board right now, Christian Barmore and Najee Harris. That's it.
We got to get ahead of Tennessee.
I think so, too, because, Tennessee is definitely going. So, and I don't think Tennessee will trade out of that spot. I think they'll be just as stubborn as Arizona was. So, let's go in. Let's hit up the Colts. Let's call up Chris Ballard. So, I almost want to try your trade then, Hayden. Well, no, I don't because it's the first round. Because I would love to still have 28. So, yeah, because I don't think... do you think 60, 98, and next year's second will get it done? Or no?
You can try. I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
Bump back an entire round.
So if we go 28, I'm going to give up 133 and next year's second, third. Because we're only moving up 7 spots here. And if I'm the Colts...
Yeah.
If I'm any team trading in the first round, getting a first-round draft pick that's only a few spots back is a win in my book anyway. Because you're still picking up a couple of picks, and you're not really moving. You still have a first-round pick this year. So I'm going to do 28, 133 next year's third for 21. I'm just going to see what they say. And I'm doing next year's second, third. It's not our first third. So we'll still have, 1, 2, and 3 for next year. So, 28, 133 next year's third for pick number 21. It was declined. That's okay because we were kind of lowballing them there. So let's go 28. Let's go 28, 105, and let's kind of do what we first were thinking of for 16, unless you guys think that's too much. But 28, 105, and next year's first third for 21.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Seems perfect.
So let's see. And if the Colts decline this, I don't get it. Maybe because it's not another top 100 pick coming back to them. That might be what the AI, but let's see what they say. It was declined again. So, oh boy.
Man, 28 and 133 has worked every single time on TDN.
That's crazy. Yeah, I need to pay the $30 and get TDN premium. I'm just a cheapskate, so 28.98 and next year.
This almost seems like the point. You just have to almost overpay.
Yeah.
To fill a position that you have to have.
I think Arizona told Indy that we were trying to trade it up to 16, and now they're swindling us. So, you guys want to do 28, 98 next year's first, third for 21?
Yeah.
Okay, so if they decline this, do you guys want to try again for something else, or good? Because we could do 28, 98 next year's second, but that's a hefty price to pay for 7 spots. This is tough. I'm at least going to propose 28.98 next year's third for 21. If they don't take this is really interesting because I'm curious to see who they who they go with here. There's nobody on this board that screams Colts need, so I'm not sure.
They may go with like a Tevin Jenkins to replace Costanzo.
That's a good point. Yeah, because they really have to. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna propose this anyway. 28.98 next year's third for 21. Got declined again. You guys want to try something else, dude? Because I mean, if we want Newsome, he's not gonna go past 22 or 23.
Right.
So, and I don't think Tennessee will trade out of that spot, especially with how stubborn Indy is right now. So, what are you guys thinking? Put on your Jeff Ireland
you just offer
pants.
Was next year's third what you just offered?
Yeah, 28.98 next year's third. You go 28.
I would say the second's the highest I would go for
okay.
this year.
You want to go 28.98 next year's second, and if they say no, then we just got to roll the dice then?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah, because
I guess call Tennessee or New York.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely do that. I'm down to see if Tennessee wants to trade out. Let's go. 28.98 next year's second. Or we could even do 28.98, and I don't think they'll budge on 218 or 133. 28.98, 133, I think gets it done. Period. But I mean, we kind of need that capital for this year, so
yeah.
So I'm gonna do 28.98 in next year's second, which hopefully will just be a high second again, like right around the 60 range, is our hope. Nothing too crazy. So 28.98 next year's second for 21 for the Colts. Let's see what they do. Trade has been accepted. Let's go. Okay,
right
so
on.
I'm fine with that. I am totally fine with that. If we give up a second, so let's do it. So we're on the clock now. It's time for us to draft. So I think we all know where we're going here. 21st overall pick in this 2021 mock draft simulation. The New Orleans Saints draft Najee Harris, running back, Alabama. Let's go. I mean, Greg Newsome the second is the pick out of Northwestern. Lockdown corner. I mean, really has 1 year of fantastic tape, but we've seen guys in the NFL who only have 1 year of fantastic tape transition perfectly to the NFL. I mean, and it was at the perfect timing for him as well. So Greg Newsome fills that cornerback hole for this year and beyond. I think that's the beautiful part about this, is that Newsome will be able to start right away opposite Marshawn Lattimore, and then he's also going to be that guy who will, hopefully, once we get the extension done for Lattimore, play side by side with him for a few years at least to come. So I really like this pick, Greg Newsome. Third best cornerback in this draft, if we're taking health into effect. And even if you don't, I mean, a lot of people like Newsome over just the potential for Farley. So I like Newsome. He is the draft pick here at 21st overall for the Saints. Wow, and I think we sniped the Titans pretty well there. They go Joseph Osai, which makes sense. They need an edge guy. So Davis and Collins go back-to-back to the Jets and to the Steelers. But, yeah, let's talk about, by the way, the Buccaneers just traded up to draft Najee Harris at 25. That's weird. Yeah, very odd.
Have like 10 running backs now?
I guess so, yeah. Geez, playoff Super Bowl Lenny wasn't enough for them, I guess. But, yeah, I want to get your guys', since we just drafted him, I want to get your guys' thoughts on Greg Newsome. What do you like about him? How is he going to fit into the Saints' defense if the Saints end up getting him? And, I mean, is that best-case scenario for the Saints at this point? Is Newsome, I mean, Horn is definitely a possibility, but they'd have to trade up a whole lot to get him, because I feel like Horn goes top 15. Is Newsome kind of the best-case scenario here for the Saints, only trading up a little bit? What are you guys' thoughts on him?
I think
yeah.
Right outside
go ahead.
13's the best. I would say outside of 13, he's the best man-to-man corner in this class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking here. It says on 223 snaps, he only allowed 12 catches on 34 targets.
Yeah, fantastic.
And he's got the speed to cover almost everybody.
Kelvin Joseph went 42nd to the Giants. Jabril Cox went 40th to the Broncos.
Wow.
Jalen Phillips fell out of the first round. He went 38th to the Bengals. That's I don't know if the Bengals really need an edge guy, but damn, that's a really good steal right there for them.
Yeah, that's good.
You know who went 33rd? Okay, so first off, obviously the Jaguars traded back from 25 to 32 with that Buccaneers trade. They went Alan McNeil at 33 because they had the first pick in the second. Caleb Farley went 34th to the Bears. Interesting picks here.
Wow.
Kadarius Toney went 51st to the Titans. So we're on the clock right now at 60. Richie Grant just went. Let's see. Jay Tufeli went. Ronnie Perkins went 56th. So guys left on the board. Let's see. Javonte Williams, running back North Carolina, is still available. Asante Samuel Jr. is available right here. I like him. I know you like him a lot, Hayden. Rondale Moore is available. Peyton Turner is available. Aaron Robinson. So we already got cornerback though. We don't really need a cornerback now. That would have been great to get Samuel either way, but we don't really need. Best linebackers left: Pete Warner out of Ohio State, Nick Bolton out of Missouri, Dylan Moses. Which Dylan Moses in all the mocks we do on Twitter, he ends up falling like to the third round, or third, even sometimes fourth. I feel like Moses will go somewhere in the second, maybe early third in real life, but not totally sure. So. Man, Joe Tryon is still available. You got Milton Williams. I feel like we can get a better D tackle down the line.
Yeah, for sure.
Hamza Nasiruddin, he is still there. Out of Florida State. Let's see if any good receivers. Yeah, Rondale Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're good. Brevin Jordan, tight end out of Miami, still available. Jalen Mayfield is the best offensive tackle. Walker Little's still there too. Wow. Tough. Any positions you guys want me to go over? Who are you guys thinking here? Because it's a tough position, right? Obviously, Samuel, I think, would be the pick if we hadn't already gotten Newsome, so.
I kind of like Joe Tryon.
I do. I like him a lot, too. He's one of my guys. I like Tryon. I think that he would even be... I know it would definitely be a stretch if he's picked in the first round, but I like him a lot, and I don't have a first-round grade on him, but I got a high second, and, I mean, if the Saints went with him in the first round, I wouldn't be, just based off of need, I wouldn't be too mad. He did opt out of last season, so there's only so much tape on him, and I guess the only knock on him is that he is kind of small for a true defensive end, because he kind of played that outside linebacker and edge hybrid for the University of Washington. But man, his 2019 tape is so good. And I feel, and the Saints need an edge guy. I mean, at least for depth purposes with the loss of Trey Hendrickson. Defensive line period is what the Saints need some help on. So, yeah, I like Joe Tryon too. Elijah Molden is still there, but again, cornerbacks are... we could double dip a quarterback later on, depending on what talent is left. But what are you thinking, Hayden? I like Tryon. Mead likes Tryon. Rondale...
I'm a big Tryon fan. I mean, also, Moses has the injuries to the leg.
Yeah, that's true.
But his athleticism, though, and, I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah. And I feel like...
I would say... I mean, even Rondale Moore, even though we have Deontay Harris, he would still be a crazy good addition with Jameis now that he can throw the ball down the field.
For sure. And Bolton here isn't a terrible consideration either, but...
I could see him being more as just a middle linebacker, kind of rover type, where he just kind of stays in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
I like that. Not going to do too much.
I like him too, but...
And then, I mean, also, Hans is a good pick. So, I mean, really, we have a couple options here.
Yeah, I like Hamza too. Let's see.
And then Pete Warner is also a super athletic linebacker that would kind of replace what Quan did.
Right, which is why I'm hesitant on Bolton, just because, I mean, I really like him. He's a good name, and he was considered to be kind of a later first-round pick even a month or two ago. But he's just, he's more of a run-stopping pursuit guy. I really want a coverage-type guy, which is what Pete Warner kind of brings to the table. We also don't have a pick until 105 now because we trade 98. So this is a pretty... I guess, important spot to draft somebody good because we won't get another opportunity for another 45 picks. So, oh man. So I guess Joe Tryon I like a lot here. I think he's the best overall value as well as need fit, which is why I like him so much. Rondale Moore, if we didn't have Deontay Harris, Rondale Moore would be a no-brainer here. This is tough.
I think the thing with taking a guy like Joe Tryon right now, it would tell you, because Joe Tryon, where he's being drafted at as a player right now, is similar to where Zach Bond was last year.
Right.
So if the Saints were to draft a Joe Tryon now, you would assume that their thought process is that maybe Zach Bond has improved significantly as an off-ball linebacker to where he could maybe focus on that position and bring in Joe Tryon as kind of your depth / developmental edge, and which would signal that obviously the Zach Bond trade up last year worked out.
Right. Because Tryon and Bond are fairly similar in terms of how they were in college, right? Because Bond played a lot of edge there at a lot of hand down in at Wisconsin. But I feel like the Saints really want him to be that off-ball linebacker because of his athleticism. And again, I didn't even mention this before the show, before we were recording or when we started recording, but Quan Alexander has a very good possibility of coming back to the Saints. I mean, we've seen his workout videos lately. It's just a big question as to how ready will he be. Because I feel like if he's as healthy as he kind of looks in these videos, he would have already been signed by now. But a lot of teams are also waiting until after the draft to kind of evaluate where they're at. So if we go Tryon, I feel like then that will, like Mead is saying, the Saints' thought process will be, let's give Bond the green light. He seems to be ready. Is that true in real life right now? Don't really know yet, but I feel like Tryon is at least good edge depth. At the very least, and at the most, then that gives Bond the opportunity to play just linebacker, which is what the Saints need, an athletic guy opposite of, or playing next to Demario Davis. So,
I mean, I'd say go Tryon here.
I like Tryon a lot. Yeah, let's do it.
All for it.
Okay, with 60th pick in this mock draft, the Saints draft Joe Tryon, edge, University of Washington. Like him a lot. I've had him... this was like 2 months ago, though. I picked him in a mock, Joe Tryon, to the Saints at 28, just because there was nobody left. Obviously, he's fallen down boards since then, just because of the talent boost from a lot of other guys. But, I mean, he's one of the more underrated edge guys here. I mean, he's a little bit smaller for an edge, and that's why he played so much linebacker there for Washington, but he is uber athletic, and the Saints love athletic edges. So we need that. With the loss of Trey Hendrickson, with 2 first-round picks doing iffy in his time in New Orleans so far. Nasir Al-Din goes 74th overall to the Washington R-Words. Elijah Molden goes right after. Davis Mills goes 76th to the Giants.
Wow.
And Kellen Mond goes 78th to the Vikings. It's interesting. And Robert Rochelle might be your guy, too, Hayden. He's out of Central Arkansas. I like him a lot. He's a really athletic cornerback.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
He went 79th to the Raiders. He's been rising on boards a lot lately. And Trill Williams goes 82nd overall. I know that's a guy that we like a lot. Paulson Adebo, cornerback out of Stanford, who I picked 60th overall in her most recent Twitter, the 2021 last-minute mock. He goes 85th to the Titans. Amon-Ra St. Brown goes to the Steelers at 87. Brevin Jordan goes to the Rams. I like Brevin Jordan with the Rams. That's actually a good fit. I like that.
He honestly reminds me a lot of Gerald Everett. So
That's exactly what I'm thinking too. It's like almost like a spitting. Wow, Amari Rodgers, 94th to the Browns. That would have been tight if he fell. That would have been really cool if he fell.
I would have liked that a lot.
Tyler Shelvin goes 95th to the Bucks. I was hoping he might fall too, because D-tackle is another position I want to look at. Dylan Moses is still available on your right hand, and it is the injury concern that is falling. I always forget about that part about him, but he's still available. I think he's going to be here at 105, because Chaz Surratt just went 103. Kyle Trask goes 104th overall to the Patriots. And now we actually have 2 trade offers here at 105. The Jaguars are offering pick 106 and their 6th-round pick next year. So we would literally move back 1 spot and pick up a 6th for next year. The Lions what the hell? They're offering 112 and their 7th pick next year. So clearly, the Jaguars offered us a better. I mean, we get a better pick this year and next year. They're not even going to entertain the Lions pick. I don't even know. Is it worth? I mean, for the Saints here, yeah, sure, I'd take that trade. You move back one spot and pick up an extra 6 next year. But is it worth it?
Right.
To take it this year for us? I don't know. Should we just stay at 105? I mean, Dylan Moses, Ben Cleveland. Tylan Wallace is still available. Tommy Tremble.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah. And who would the Jags go with here, too, is that's the question. I don't know. I'm just going to reject it. I don't feel like that's kind of worth it for us. Let's just stay at 105, see what we get. So, yeah, Dylan Moses, Ben Cleveland. Hufanga, safety out of USC. I like him. Yeah. He's got some decent tape. Ellerson Smith, edge out of Northern Iowa. Haven't watched too much about him, but I have read his scouting report on a couple sites, and he's decent. Tylan Wallace, though, I mean, wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. Very, very versatile, dynamic guy. I mean, he's got this speed, especially like what Mito was mentioning earlier when we were talking about Rondale Moore, the fact that we have a quarterback in Winston who can get the ball down the field now. Yeah, and player comparison here on PFN is Brandon Ayuk, which makes sense because dude has fantastic yak ability, and yeah, he's a good scheme fit. So I like Wallace here. Tommy Tremble is also available. And, the Saints. I mean, I like Troutman obviously. I mean, we signed Nick Van Nett for the next 3 years, so he's going to be a backup. So tight end isn't totally a need, even though I do like Tommy Tremble's game and he would kind of fill that role for the Saints, but he wasn't even really a starter at Notre Dame, so, you almost want to pick, top guys. So, what are you guys thinking here? And I can go, if there's a position you guys want to check out too, I can show you or tell you who's available. Tutu Atwell is also available there, wide receiver out of Louisville, but we kind of already, if we wanted Tutu Atwell, we would just got Rondale Moore earlier.
Yeah.
Dylan Moses, Ben Cleveland, Ellerson Smith, Tylan Wallace, Tommy Tremble, Kendrick Green, guard out of Illinois.
When did old Pete Warner get taken?
Pete Warner, let's see. Pete Warner got drafted. Probably got drafted a little bit after our last pick. Walker Little went 72nd overall to the Lions.
So I like
Tyson Campbell went 70th to the... And Rondale Moore, he went 63rd to the Chiefs. That'd be scary. Pete Warner went the pick after. He went 61st. So Pete Warner was drafted directly after Joe Tryon. That's tough. Yeah, cornerback. The good thing we got our cornerback early, because cornerback has just been freaking cleaned out now. So, Andre Sisco got taken. Ardarius Washington got picked at 102. He wouldn't have been a bad choice there. So, yeah, 105 is tough. Is there any positions you guys want to check out? Trey Sermon still available.
I would say, really, I feel like our only smart option could be Dylan Moses or Colin Wallace.
Yeah. Yeah, because Moses is still here. The linebacker after him is Cameron McGrone out of Michigan. I think it's down to Moses and Wallace at this point. I like.
I take Wallace for the simple fact that you mentioned, bringing back Quan Alexander is still a possibility.
Yeah. And
I generally believe the. Right.
Got Zach Vaughn with a 3rd pick last year. I mean, the Saints traded up to get Vaughn, so hopefully they have him in their plans. Yeah, and I like Tylan Wallace's game. I mean, I'm a sucker for a good receiver, period. I mean, that is just the position that I just tend to kind of gravitate towards in terms of watching tape and just evaluating. What's that?
And especially a good one.
Exactly, especially a good one. And this is a pretty deep wide receiver draft class. I mean, it's not really even it's kind of like last year, right? I mean, we're going to see receivers be picked early in the first round, but last year, I mean, I don't think the first receiver got picked till 11, but then we had 3 in the top 20 go. I feel like that's something that's going to happen again this year, which may leave the Saints in an awkward position when picking receiver down the line. But if a guy like Tylan Wallace is still here at 105, I feel like that's a really, really good pick. So I think Wallace is the move here. Even though I love Moses. Moses could even fall fall even for. I don't feel like he's gonna fall to 133, but it's a slight possibility he does at this point.
I mean, and I'm also pretty high on Cameron McGrone too out of Michigan.
True.
So he could also
I am too.
I like him. He's a really good physical guy.
He's a good physical linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say go Tyler Lynch. I mean, also, I think Peyton Ellis is going to step up this year.
I like Caden Ellis a lot.
Me too.
He's a physical monster.
I mean, he flashed in the preseason games that he played in.
Yeah, I mean, he's got speed. I mean, he's really just like Anzalone, but we'll see how good in coverage Peyton Ellis is, because that was Anzalone's kind of Achilles heel.
And which college did Ellis go to? What was it? Wasn't it really small?
Idaho?
Oh, it was Idaho. That's right. Yeah. It was Idaho. That's right. Yeah. So just a random kind of almost small town or small school guy.
Yeah,
love his game.
I want to say it was a 6th or 7th round pick.
And I don't even remember ever having him mocked in any of the drafts that we did, from what I remember. So when the Saints got him, had to watch tape on him. So yeah, I like him a lot too. So I think Tylan Wallace is a move here. We're gonna go.
Yeah, I say go Wallace.
At 105, Saints go Tylan Wallace, wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. So, and then this is how, if that happens, Tommy Tremble goes 106 to the Jaguars. Oh, and Dylan Moses goes 107. So eventually somebody was going to take him. But if that happens, Tylan Wallace joins our wide receiver room. You got Michael Thomas, you got Traquan Smith, you got Marquez Callaway, you got Deontay Harris, now you got in Tylan Wallace. Hopefully then that ends the Austin Carr love affair the Saints have. So I feel like that is a really, really solid wide receiver room. Cameron McGrone goes 112 to the Lions. Amir Smith-Marset out of Iowa, who I know you like a lot. I like him a lot the more tape I've watched on him. He went 114 to the Buffalo Bills. And then Caden Stearns, safety out of Texas, goes 118 to the Chargers. So pretty good guys. Patrick Jones, edge out of Pittsburgh, he goes, 119th to the Vikings. So a lot of good guys that the Saints have been looking at are going now. This is going to be interesting once we get to 133, because there's some good offensive tackle prospects left. Stone Forsyth, James Hudson, Kendrick Green is still available, guard out of Illinois. Oh, he just went to the Seahawks at 129. Forget what I said. James Hudson goes 130. So 131. Okay, 132, Cam Sample goes. Chargers are offering us 159, 185, and 198 for 133. It's a little much, and I feel like that's just 3 more picks we got to do.
Did you say McGrone got taken?
Yeah, he got taken.
Okay, he did. Okay.
He got taken a few picks after, yeah.
Okay.
So the best guys available right now, Stone Forsyth, offensive tackle out of Florida. You got Tony Fields out of West Virginia. Bobby Brown, D-tackle out of Texas A&M. Sean Wade is available.
Kind of like Tony Fields. He covers a little bit of safety and a little bit of linebacker. So
I'm going to reject this trade offer by the Chargers because, I feel like we got some good prospects here. We could... Yeah, Tony Fields is, definitely a run defender for sure. Which I mean, still, because, we'll take a run defender, especially since this defense under Dennis Allen seems to just thrive with the run-stopping aspect. I mean, we've been top 5 in rush defense for the last few years. Number 1 for one of the years. And he's athletic. He's more athletic than a couple of the other linebackers here. So, yeah, I like Tony Fields. Sean Wade's still available. Let's see. Any really good tight ends? Forsyth is the only good offensive tackle.
What kind of safeties are left?
James Wiggins out of Cincinnati. Sean Wade. Jamie Sherwood. Nobody really screaming. Jacoby Stevens still available. Richard LeCount out of Georgia. Pretty good. I feel like the Paris Ford, of course. Paris Ford is 280. What is he? 282 on this board. Pretty crazy to me. I don't feel like.
I wonder if that's speed. I wonder if his speed bumped him down.
Yeah, that athletic testing was terrible.
Yeah, that's a good point. I always forget about that stuff. I just love the tape on some of these guys, and I'm like, why are they so far down? And then you gotta look at the medical evaluations. You gotta look at everything. So.
I mean, honestly, I think Jacoby Stevens would be a great fit.
I think
So
so,
I think he could
too.
almost turn into like a Malcolm Jenkins type safety.
Right. And he's an LSU guy.
And then what interior linemen are left?
Not too many good ones. Yeah, Larry Borum, Robert Jones. Aaron Banks, David Moore, Robert Hainsey out of Notre Dame, Drake Jackson. I mean, he played center, but could definitely move him out. But yeah, it's tough. Very tough position. Best D tackle is Bobby Brown. Wow. And I don't think the Saints have another pick here until. Let's see, they're at 133. I don't think we have another pick.
Sixth round. Like 217 or into the sixth round.
So I think it's 218. Yeah, you're right.
218.
Yeah. 218 is our next pick. So another pretty. And then we got 229 and then 255 and then that's it.
So we've gone Newsome, Tryon, Talon.
Yes.
My vote would honestly be, I'd probably say Jacoby Stevens because he can he reminds me a little bit of Jamal Adams, but he's more of a ball hawk than Jamal Adams is. But,
Sure.
I mean, you see Stevens coming off the edge on a safety blitz, and you can see him going back as a free safety. So
Yeah, he's definitely a box safety.
yeah.
Got a high football IQ too. I mean, he's not a guy who will bite on a lot of play fakes. He kind of knows where the ball is almost at all times. Really smart guy. Yeah, that does remind me of Jamal Adams too. Now that you bring it up, yeah. Obviously, Jamal Adams' athleticism is on another level, and his instincts are just out there. But Jacoby Stevens, LSU, I mean, cut from the same cloth. You never know. So yeah. I don't know. What are you thinking here, Mead? We're just in a tough position here. There's only so many prospects that can fit a Saints need here.
Yeah, given the available guys, I think it comes down to either Stevens or Tony Fields, and I'm looking up their size difference because they're very similar guys. Mm-hmm. Stevens is more of your safety that can come in and play in the box, and Fields is more of your linebacker that can drop back in coverage. Mm-hmm. They're almost identical in size with.
Wow.
And the fact that Stevens plays safety versus Fields playing linebacker, I think it just shows he's more athletic. So I would lean towards Stevens here.
I like that too. And I feel like everybody listening will love us taking an LSU guy.
Right.
Obviously, everybody loves the Saints going LSU guys, period, in any draft, so even mock draft. So I like that too. I think Jacoby C. I mean, he's 198 on this board. I feel like he's a little bit better than that, though. But
he's 128 in the Draft Network board that I'm looking at right now.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, he's about a top 130 player for me.
And we're at 133, so I feel like that's good value, even according to this PFN board. So, all right, I like it a lot. 133, the Saints go safety out of LSU, Jacoby Stevens. Now, yeah, because Malcolm Jenkins is not getting younger. I mean, like having him, his veteran presence is great. But if you can get somebody like Stevens to even start to fill that, because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a slot cornerback who can have some run support, obviously. I don't view him as a true strong safety. So he's just a versatile guy. I mean, he can wear all the hats. But I love Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the slot. I feel like we get somebody like Stevens who can kind of, even after next year, depending on whenever Malcolm Jenkins decides to hang it up or his contract expires, he goes to another team, I feel like Stevens is going to learn under him and be able to be a good depth guy at the very least and then step into his shoes when the time is needed. Because, franchise taking Marcus Williams and then hopefully extending him soon, that locks down the free safety position for years to come. We got the slot cornerback in this draft. We now have the outside cornerback locked up. Getting some strong safety depth for the future is pretty important. So I like that move overall. Let's see, Rodarius Williams goes 152. Jamie Newman goes 153. Forsyth finally went at 145. Sean Wade went to the Rams at 141. Demetric Felton, who, if he didn't test as terribly as he did, he would be gone. He might even be like a top 100 pick, Demetric Felton. But he just tested so bad. I don't know if you guys saw his RAS score, his RAS. Dude literally had like a 0.1
Oh,
RAS.
shit.
Holy cow.
And for those of you that don't know, the RAS scale is from 0 to 10. And he was 0.1.
Yeah.
He was real bad. I mean, it doesn't help that he's, 5'8". So, if you're short in your position, you need to test, like, out of your mind, or else you will not be looked favorably.
You will take
at
a
NFL
hefty
teams.
hit.
Exactly. So, which I feel like that's what happened to Felton, unfortunately. So, Chuba Hubbard just went 173 to the Packers, which is interesting. It's weird. I don't know. But then again, once you get to this point in the draft,
Packers are
it's
gonna
like
Packer.
it's like BPA,
Yeah.
Even if you already have A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, I guess you gotta go BPA. But Benjamin St. Juste, guy that we've kind of been talking about in our group chat a little bit, he goes 179 to the Cowboys. I like his length, obviously, and I he was being compared on a podcast I was listening to the other day to Stanley John Baptiste, who was a bad draft pick for the Saints a few years ago, but I mean they loved his frame and his length as cornerback. They tried to copy what the Legion of Boom was doing, but just never worked out. So Thomas Graham goes 187, Richard LeCount goes 188, Landon Young, I think he's a pretty underrated offensive tackle. He won 189 to the Washington football team. Sage Surratt goes 193 to the Panthers. So as of right now, the best players available: Daz Newsome, Trey McKitty. He just went. Tariq Thompson, Trey Brown, Kerry Vincent Jr. also out of LSU. So the Saints are gonna, 218. So yeah, we're not gonna have a whole lot to pick from at 218. So we'll just let the board go. But right now, I'm actually pretty happy with how this draft turned out. Last draft we did on this. We did the Draft Network mock draft. We had to choose between, at 28, we didn't trade or anything. We were at 28. It was either Mac Jones or Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah. Very tough to choose from.
Not for me.
Not for you. I know not for you. For me it was. And, I mean, yeah. So, I think, I'm surprised we haven't been yelled at yet by people, but we ended up going with Mac Jones. But
Wow.
I know. I regret it now. In the moment, I was like, oh, man, we can't let him slip. Now that I look back, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. All right, Saints on the board at 218. Nobody crazy has gone in the last few picks, other than Patrick Johnson, edge out of Tulane. But we already got our edge guy this draft. Josh, can never pronounce his last name, but
Imator Bebe.
Bebe, that's right. That's how you say the last.
Bebe.
Yeah, he went 206 to the Colts. That would have been a good guy. So yeah, Daz Newsome finally went. So best guys available according to the big board: Joshua Kando, edge out of Florida State; Javian Hawkins, running back out of Louisville. Your boy Hayden Felipe Franks is still here, quarterback out of Arkansas.
Let's go.
Cornell Powell is still here. Tamarion Terry, wide receiver out of Florida State. I like his. If we already hadn't gotten Tylan Wallace, that would be very, very intriguing. Avery Williams is available, and I wouldn't mind double dipping at cornerback, but also Avery Williams was one of the best special teams guys, period, out of any college player during his career. Is there any positions you guys want me to go over? I mean, let's see. We've gotten cornerback. We've gotten edge. We've gotten wide receiver. And then we got safety. So I guess linebacker would be a need. And D-tackle. So let's see. Best linebackers. Justin Hilliard out of Ohio State. Errol Thompson. KJ Britt still here. Buddy Johnson. D-tackle. Jordan Scott out of Oregon. Mustafa Johnson out of Colorado. Nobody really jumping out to me here.
Is Patty Fisher still there? I doubt it.
Is who?
Patty Fisher.
Doesn't look like it. Let me see where he went. Actually, I don't even see him being. Let me see. See if he's somewhere else on this board. I mean, I don't see him available. He must have been drafted a while ago then. Yeah, I don't see him anywhere. So yeah, another tough spot the Saints are in.
This was a spot that I like to draft Koi Dang from Cal, but I just read that he went back to Cal.
Ooh.
Which I liked getting him this late. He's a super athletic guy, but
Right.
I mean, this late you're taking flyers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just kind of taking. Yeah. I almost want to trade. I almost want to be like, hey, you guys want to take 218 and give us like next year's third or something? That'll never happen. But damn, that would be nice to just give this up. Wait, because we're up again at 229, first pick in the 7th round. So it's we got another pick here in 11 picks. So it's kind of tough spot.
The only knock I have on Justin Hilliard is that he's 6'1.5".
Right, he's tiny. Well, tiny for a linebacker. He's bigger than me, but he's tiny for his position. So, whew. I like Cornell Powell too, but we already got Wallace. I don't think we need to add another one. And I feel like there will be a lot of UDFA wide receivers that the Saints could pick.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got Marquez Callaway last year, so. Is Felipe Franks the move?
I would actually go Hilliard and then hope for Franks to be there in
Okay.
11 picks.
I like that. Let's go. Yeah, because Hilliard, especially an Ohio State guy. The Saints love their Ohio State guys.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that. And we haven't drafted a linebacker yet this draft. Even though we've talked about Ellis and we've talked about Zach Bonnet, it's still nice to have somebody else at least compete there. And Hilliard could be a diamond in the rough. So picking him there at 218. So now the board will be falling. Let's see. Cornell Powell goes 222. That's like the second or third receiver the Panthers have picked this mock. So that's interesting. Oh, man. Felipe Franks goes 224 to the Eagles.
Oh.
Man.
That's why I hate these things.
What is their problem? Wow. All right, we're back.
I mean,
up
good
on
for
the
him. Is Jalen Hurts big competition?
clock.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right.
Is someone like Ian Book available?
Ian Book.
Yeah.
Let me see.
He seems like the Sean Payton type.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't think so. It doesn't look like he's on here anymore, but I don't know why he would have been drafted already. Hold on, let me double check something.
What about KJ Costello?
Oh no, Ian Book is here. Yep, KJ Costello is there. Sam Ellinger is still there. Shane.
Buechele.
Buechele or Buechele. Yeah,
Yeah,
quarterback.
Buechele.
He's still available. Yeah, Ian Book, Costello's still there. Ellinger. Rakeem Boyd's still available if we want to go running back. So is Ben Mason. Let's see, tied. Nobody were tied. Noah Gray, but I feel like if anything, Noah Gray will be UDFA as well. No great offensive
I
tackles.
would say out of those, I would probably lean towards Ian Book at quarterback for the quarterback option.
Yeah, he just went 4th round in one of your live mocks you did, right?
Hey, yeah, and KJ looks terrible.
Yeah.
At Mississippi.
Right. Yeah, the big knock on him is his height, but we've seen what he can do with Breeze.
Yeah. I mean, Ian's mobile. I
Yep.
mean, you know how Peyton likes those quarterbacks.
For sure. He doesn't have a very strong arm, but, I mean, hey,
Yeah.
we were able to get by with Breeze's kind of not strong arm for a couple years. So, yeah, the only other guy I think Avery Williams may still be there at 255, and I really like Avery Williams. So I feel like we can definitely go quarterback here. And Costello's pretty darn good too, but I just didn't really like how he played last year.
Yeah, I would say either Ellinger or Ian Book.
Right. What are you thinking?
I'm fine with Book. I'm fine with Book. Yeah.
Okay. I like Book too. Let's do it. I think that's good value there too. Yeah, because remember the Saints drafted, and I liked him a lot because he's a local guy. I went to Heritage High School, which is only a few minutes from where I live in Vancouver, Washington. But Garrett Grayson, drafting him in the 3rd round a few years ago, I mean, that was almost turned into like a throwaway pick essentially. But if you draft a quarterback here in the 7th round, and Ian Book has just as much talent. Yeah, Ian Book has just as much talent as Avery Williams went 238. Screw the Cowboys. But he has just as much talent as Garrett Grayson did. Garrett Grayson had the body for NFL-ready quarterback. But I feel like that is, considering how the Saints have drafted quarterbacks in the last, however many years since they've had Breeze. I think that is a really good value pick right there. So I dig it a lot. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Only a few picks left till 255, which now 255 is the fifth to last pick here in the NFL draft. There's 259 total. So let's see who is going to be available here for the Saints. Kicker just got taken. Jose Borrego. I actually haven't watched any kicker tape. I don't know anything about the kickers for this, but kicker out of Miami, Florida, just went to the Rams at 252. Josh Ball went 254 to the Steelers, and now the Saints are up at 255. So, yeah, guys I like that are still available. Noah Gray, tight end out of Duke. Des Fitzpatrick, wide receiver out of Louisville. Des Fitzpatrick just has his size is just exactly what I want the Saints to have as that opposite of Michael Thomas, but he kind of models his game after MT, so, in terms of, I mean, obviously not as good, but in terms of how he plays, he's definitely a open space guy. He can get separation, also middle of the field. He's got a really, really good route tree.
Honestly, I had Des Fitzpatrick as about a late 4th, early 5th round.
I mean, and a lot of people had him as a top 100 pick before he kind of got buried into the depth chart there at Louisville. So, yeah, I like Fitzpatrick and Noah Gray still there. Trey Norwood, safety. We already got a safety, though. Yeah. Let's see.
What about other corners?
Other corners left. Nobody really. Jerry Jacobs out of Arkansas. Brian Mills out of NC Central. No. Jason Pinnock out of Pitt.
Is Jonathan Adams, the wide receiver from Arkansas State, still there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Also, Rashad Wildgoose. Love his name out of Wisconsin. I talked about him in the last mock, too. Let's see. Yep, Jonathan Adams is still available there at 277.
I think he would be a perfect executor in the sophomore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. He's a big guy.
Yeah, possession. I mean, that's the thing. Possession receivers are kind of what you want there at that X spot with opposite Michael Thomas. I mean, Michael Thomas in and of itself is almost like a possession guy, but we've seen him get down the field and stretch. I mean, he doesn't have blazing fast speed, but he is one of the best route runners and has some of the best footwork of any receiver. So he's able to create the separation. And I expect to see a lot more post routes by Michael Thomas this year now that Jameis Winston is going to be throwing the ball. So if we have another possession guy who can kind of fill that out, I like that. So, yeah, Jonathan Adams, Des Fitzpatrick would be good picks here regardless. I'm down to go Jonathan Adams, especially since it's Hayden's guy out of Arkansas State. And for those of you listening, Hayden is from Arkansas, so it makes a lot of sense that we talk about these Arkansas guys because not only has Hayden watched more tape on them than a lot of other people, but it's just a nice homage as well. And Jonathan Adams is a great talent anyway, so I like him. Who was the Arkansas State receiver from last year? His name is
Omar Bayless.
Yes,
Omar
and he ended up
Bayless.
going to the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. And he was
Jonathan Adams last year, they had split quarterback, and he still got 80 receptions for 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns.
It's amazing. And again, he would be much higher on boards if he wasn't coming from a small school. So
yeah, he's 6'3", 220, runs a 4.4, 4.5. I mean, he's good.
So he's an inch taller than Michael Thomas and runs faster than Michael Thomas. Which, I'm not saying that he's better, but again, if you want a guy opposite of MT, I mean, that is a guy who can definitely kind of almost compete for the job. So I like that.
So it looks like he registered a 39-inch vertical, 132-inch broad jump, and a 4.5
Okay. Not terrible. And I like Traquan Smith out of the slot a lot. So if we're talking about outside receivers, right, we really have Marquez Callaway and
Tylan Wallace now.
And of course, according to this draft, Tylan Wallace. Other than that, and I really like having, obviously, Deontay Harris, Traquan Smith out of the slot. You got Michael Thomas on the outside. So, yeah, now we need another guy on the outside. So I like Adams here. Let's go Adams. Last pick for this draft, at 255, Jonathan Adams out of Arkansas State, wide receiver. This draft went a whole lot better than the last one. I can tell you guys that much. I mean, again, like Meade mentioned earlier, you're taking flyers on a lot of these guys at this point, towards the end. So, before we get out of here, because this has been a lot of fun. This mock has definitely taken up a lot of time, just with all the trades and the analysis. But just to go over the mock real quick, Saints traded up to the 21st spot, traded with the Indianapolis Colts. We gave a pick 28, 98, and next year's second. And we get pick 21, which turned into Greg Newsome. At 60, the Saints go Joe Tryon, edge out of Washington. At 105, Tylan Wallace out of Oklahoma State. 133, Jacoby Stevens, safety out of LSU. 218, Justin Hilliard, linebacker out of Ohio State. 229, Ian Book, quarterback out of Notre Dame. And to top it off, at 255, Jonathan Adams, wide receiver, Arkansas State. This, not only did we get really talented guys, but damn, we filled just about every positional need that we needed to. I love that. You get
I love that draft.
Yeah, me too. You get the cornerback, and not just the cornerback. You get a cornerback who can start right away and has fantastic potential and readiness. You get an edge, at the very least, an edge depth guy. At the most, a guy who can replace production that we've almost yet to see from Marcus Davenport, but also a guy who can compete with somebody like Carl Granderson. Granderson has the just amazing size, and Joe Tryon is a guy who lacks size, so that'll be a very interesting dynamic. If obviously that ends up happening with the Saints. Tylan Wallace I like a lot, and then you also get Jonathan Adams down at 255. Both of those guys are going to be competing for outside wide receiver playing time. Jacoby Stevens, we talked about his ability as a box safety. Justin Hilliard, we mentioned the linebacker depth that is still needed for the Saints with the absence of Quan Alexander still. And then Ian Book. I mean, again, Saints have had throwaway draft picks in the 3rd, 4th round, a couple of them at quarterback. But getting a guy with the first pick in the 7th round like Ian Book, I think that is just not just good value, but it's just great potential to have. So who knows? A lot of these quarterbacks can... I mean, we've seen... Typically, it's not a 6th or 7th round quarterback, but we've seen quarterbacks, even at the very least, become like lifelong backup guys. And we've seen undrafted guys like Tony Romo be good. So, quarterback is kind of a mixed bag, so it just depends on which team gets him. And Hayden, you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned Ian Book being one of Sean Payton's kind of quote-unquote guys, just because of his mobility, athleticism, and then, I mean, coming from a school like Notre Dame where he had good production on a pretty poor offense. I mean, Notre Dame isn't anything special in terms of their offensive production over the last couple of years, but he was still able to kind of shine in some moments. So I like this draft a lot. This is definitely one of the this is definitely the best mock draft we've done on this podcast, but it's one of the better ones I think I've mocked. Period. So I like it a lot. This is really solid. So. Thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you to everybody for listening. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SaintsFPC. If there's anything else you guys want to say before we head out, go for it. Follow these guys on Twitter, though, at Matthias_Meade and at NOSaintsWRLD. Anything you guys want to say about this draft before we head out?
No, I don't think so.
Love it. Yeah, you guys did awesome. Thanks again. We will talk to you guys in the next episode, which will be hopefully in a couple of days. I'm going to be doing a couple more mock draft, and of course Wednesday, the day before round 1, hopefully we'll be dropping 2 episodes, 2 mock drafts for you guys, so be sure to listen to that. But again, thanks for listening to today's episode, and we'll talk to you guys soon.